I'm right at that moment where you think you might have a cold. Like, it's almost like reading tea leaves or something. So I have this thing where if I sneeze twice, I'm fine. Like, that's my normal sneezing. But if I sneeze once, I gotta look out because a cold could be coming. So I have that. So I sneezed once, and then I have this weird kind of smiled knot in my right shoulder, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's that. So, but I felt worse like 15 minutes ago. It's like almost 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. And then I took a bunch of vitamin C and some Airborne, and so maybe I will win the war on the cold. I hate colds. Like I actually literally have suicidal thoughts when I get a cold. I mean, I'm not really going to kill myself, but I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I can't go on. These colds, I can't take them. I mean, I hate them that much. Usually that's just the first day, and then I get used to it. But like when the cold comes on, I'm just like, this is not feasible. I cannot handle a cold. It's beyond me. I don't know if you have been following where we are, but the long and short of it is the city has basically kicked us out of our building. We are no longer allowed to service homeless people inside 15 Broad Street. And right now we're doing work, some mild services in the backyard of 15 Broad Street. Oh, and I forgot my pool pump or air compressor. Somebody donated a blow-up pool. Zach Milkovich did, a councilman, and then I forgot the air compressor. How am I going to blow that up? It's probably because I have a cold. I wasn't thinking right. I wrote it down on my to-do list. Your to-do list is only good if you read your to-do list. Pro tip of the day. We, as a board of directors at the homeless charity, have pretty much resigned ourselves to the fact that they are always going to attack us at 15 Broad Street. And people would tell me this, like when the village closed, the tents, they're like, dude, they're going to close the whole building. And I wasn't like vehemently in denial of that, but I was not like thinking that, like that was like, oh, I mean, in my head, I'm like, no, they just hated the tents. No, they hate me. And it's okay to hate me because I'm poking them. I'm pointing out the fact that they are making homelessness illegal, that there are American citizens, people that have every right to live on American soil, and they are the lowest of the low. If you dare sleep on any public land here in Akron, you will get a trespassing violation. And I know a guy that is facing 6 months in jail because he has gotten 2 of those. And then if you dare sleep on someone else's private property, then they will come and attack the private property owner. It's easier to attack the private property owner, they found, because they have something to lose, And so the private property owner, me included, gets scared and we're like, oh no, not the big bad city. And then we like run away because literally the city could do anything they want. I mean, they can pull your occupancy permit. They can fine you thousands of dollars a day. They can just make it up. Like literally they'll just sit at their office and be like, what does this jackal deserve for allowing tents on his property? And put anything they want in there. There's no law that says it's going to be this amount. It could be $10,000 a day. And we all know it. As property owners, we all know that there's no property rights in America. That's why we have a law firm working with us, Institute for Justice, because you literally have to hire $1 million law firm for them to potentially win back the rights that you were supposed to always have on your land. And they have to do it under constitutional law. They're like, this is constitutionally illegal what you are doing to these people. And that's what Institute for Justice does, is goes around and, I mean, they help people in a lot of different ways, but property law is a big part of their law firm. And because, cities can do whatever they want. And if you're not lucky enough to get $1 million, a law firm that's willing to take you on for free and spend $1 million basically of legal services on you, you're screwed. And so at any rate, so then I look there and people would come back and they're like, I told you they were going to close your building. And I'm like, oh, you're right. Yeah. And the things that we're doing in the backyard, if we do those long enough, they'll close those too. We're just providing some water and some shade. The low-income senior citizens that tower above us in their low-income apartment building, they could easily be homeless themselves because they don't make enough money to actually afford rent in a market value rent. They're taking pictures of our canopies. I put up some. Well, this is supposedly going to be the hottest day of the year today. We're in, where are we? It's July, like late July. And I guarantee they're sending these pictures to City Hall saying, oh, Sage is at it again. He's got people sleeping in his backyard. And I don't. I have some shade. But I guarantee they'll close it down. So at any rate, we have pretty much resigned ourselves that this is our fate if we continue to try to do work at 15 Broad Street. And so we are now in a process where we are going to be probably phasing out working in that building and then working instead in our houses, doing much of the same work in our houses and mobily. Like, our mission statement is meet the homeless where they are today to help them to go where they want tomorrow, or something like that, But meet them where they are today really does mean, go out to them. Don't make them come to us. Go out to them. And so that is that I think is staying true to our mission. So right now, we're starting to look for a shuttle, which should be really cool. So at any rate, I have these interesting feelings like exhaustion and exhilaration. Like, I don't know, that's a unique phenomenon to feel that simultaneously, exhausted and excited. And I'm not trying to bullshit you. I'm not trying to spin. I'm just, when on this podcast, I'm just trying to give you the behind the scenes of who I am. And I am, you can ask my wife, unnaturally optimistic, just stupidly optimistic. I recently compared myself to a dumb rabid dog. And I told whoever I was talking to that it's hard to keep me down. That's pretty much me. I just bounce back. You can do whatever you want to me. I'm just going to keep coming and keep coming. I'm just a zombie of optimism. And I didn't cultivate that. That's just who I am. But so I'm in this phase right now of death. So I really love the Christian story of birth, life, death, and rebirth, resurrection. I love that. I believe that. I believe that is life. That life isn't three things, it's four things. It's not just birth, life, and death. It's birth, life, death, rebirth. And you see it all the time. You can see it in the trees, you can see it in the grass. You see that story of God everywhere in nature. Everywhere in nature. So, but today I'm really in that death phase. Like, I know, because I'm this dumb rabid dog zombie thing, that I know the resurrection is a given. I know the rebirth is a given. But today, I have to wind down. I have to die. I have to close. I have to phase out 15 Broad Street. And I'm not a sentimental person. I'm more of a futurist. I like looking to the future. I don't really care if things die, like especially organizations or buildings. But I have a tinge of sentimentality about 15 Broad Street because the homeless built the thing, you know? I'm a startup guy. I'm not very good at growing things or maintaining things. I'm just good at startup. And that's why I'm exhilarated and excited about our next phase, because that's where I'm really good. Like, you need me to create an outreach program with a shuttle service and supplies and connecting to other service providers, and which is actually a big part of what we want to do. Is we want to actually stop duplicating services. When we had our village, we were a very unique service provider, but now we're not. We're just a me too. We're just like we're food and clothing and kind of a day center, I guess that's something, but we can't be a day center. We're not allowed to have people in our building. So it's not like I can even be a day center. It's not like I'm stopping being a day center willingly. I'm not allowed to be a day center. So now all I have potentially is some clothes and some food if I can figure out where to store them. And that is prolific in Akron. So our thought is, if we got a shuttle, we would help connect these people with existing service providers that probably can do those services better than us. Better clothing supplies, better food supplies, and maybe we can even help facilitate people if they want to start a food bank or a clothing room. We certainly know how to do that. So we might be able to do that as well. So I'm really, 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 truly excited about the future, because that's just my natural habitat. But today we must die. And you shouldn't skip death. You know what I'm saying? There's 4 stages of life. Birth. Is it 4? And birth and rebirth? I don't know. 4, 3, I don't know. Birth, life, death, rebirth. Yeah, it's definitely 4. I'm going with rebirth is important. But you can't allow yourself not to mourn, right? To not sit in the death. There's value in death. There is peace in death. There is a letting go in death that is undeniably relaxing and peaceful and just letting go. You have to let yourself let go. And that's very difficult for me because I'm a fighter. I battle. That's who I am. I am here on earth to make a difference. I just feel like, I'm on a rental program here with my body. I'm just renting this little meat bag, and I am here to make a difference. And so I don't like just letting things die and not doing anything. I mean, actually, the death is kind of active because I literally have to, there's a dumpster coming and there's a lot to do in my death. But what I'm getting at is I want to just be present in the dying part of this. I know that I know what the resurrection is potentially going to look like. with our mobile units and connecting to other service providers and utilizing our houses to help with services and that sort of thing. But I know that's there. But today I just need to allow the death, you know? And it's probably why I'm getting a cold, is because my body is like, look, you are going to take a break. You are going to relax. You are going to just let go for a little while, you know? And by letting go, I mean there is some rotting meat in a freezer that got unplugged, and you need to get that shit out of your basement kind of relaxed. That's what relaxed to me looks like, you know? But for me, like, fighting is a mental thing. It's like, where are we driving to next? Where are we going next? And today, we're just taking some rotten meat to a dumpster. And tomorrow or next week, or probably the week after, because this is a long process. The cleaning out of this building is not going to be quick and painless. Going to take some time. Then I will again rise from the dead and fight again. Because the beauty of it is, this is just symbolism. I'm still in the game, you know. There is a symbolic death. There is a symbolic birth and life and death and rebirth, until my own death, which I know will be reborn some way, but probably without my input. My rebirth will be pre-programmed somehow that I can't conceive. But right now, I have been given the great gift of resurrection, of having a say in a new resurrection. And so that's where we are. But I would encourage you, you know, to not be sad. All of this has been meant to happen. The closing of 15 Broad Street is meant to happen. It is meant to happen. Every sign points to shutting down 15 Broad Street. God wants this property shut down. Why exactly? Not totally sure, but 100% this is what's meant to happen. This is the end of that, probably because our village left and the universe is like, then why are you there? Your village already left you. Why are you sitting in an empty village? Go out to the new villages. You know, something like that, probably, right? So, yeah, the universe is telling me to let 15 Broad Street go. And so I totally get it. A sweet sorrow, I suppose. Fortunately, that tent city was well documented, and people will not soon forget what the homeless of Akron did in Akron. In fact, it might even become a story of lore, perhaps, that they had the audacity to stand up for themselves and create something beautiful, to only have it torn down by, I don't know, what tore it down? Hate, anger, jealousy, fear, probably, right? Fear tore it down. So, yeah, so anyways, but today we die, and it's okay. All right, everybody, I love you. I will see you soon. Bye.